Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the Boxwood series, of the Boxwood episode. Here I got one of my Boxwoods. I got another one on the ground. And the only tool I'm going to be using is this Corona Max Forged Aluminum BP 6250 pruners for both these trees. In the background you can see the 4 Boxwoods from part 1, which I potted up. So we have this tree in front of me. The first thing we do, which we pull out the pot, pull it out of the pot. The root system's not in the best shape, but Boxwoods always kind of recover pretty well, despite it being having a bad root system. As you can tell right here, we have a really nice Nabari, which is, it's fantastic. So here's a close-up of it. As you can see, really good root base, or Nabari. So, let's get started. So for me, I usually prefer pruning my Boxwoods, and it's in sort of like a similar to a oak growing in the wild, a classic oak shape. So that's usually what I do. With this, I could see that actually working very well. I had actually planned on doing this with the other Boxwoods. However, I didn't because I wasn't really sure what to prune and what not to prune at the time. So, and I haven't looked at it much since, so it's kind of fresh for me. And I'm hoping to present something nice for you. So the first thing I want to do is I have a whole bunch of inner growth right here that's really small. So I'm going to prune that off first. That's most of it. So now when I think of this, I'm thinking like a broom style oak tree. So this right here is going to be the main trunk line, and these are going to come out rounded. So what I'm thinking is, well, let me see. Because this is kind of a tough one, because you got this right here, which is both useful and bad because it crosses over the trunk. But you can see if you remove it, it's removing too much. However, I just saw this, so right here we have one that's growing, so I'll be cutting it back to there. Bam. That's gone. You can see it's no longer crossing the trunk, and we still got kind of a front branch. So, kind of doing what Peter Chan does on his channel, Huron's Bonsai. I'm actually going to prune this, give it a rough prune to a broom style shape. Kind of like a hedge trimming of it. This is probably, I don't know what I'm going to do about this because it's completely nothing there, and that's where I want the back, but at the same time there's nothing there to give it depth. So as you can see, this is kind of curved, so I'm going to go like this, that. We got a branch right here. So I'm actually going to print it to that lower branch and print off this entire piece right here along with that stub. There we go. There we go. So now we got a basic shape. Maybe print these two. There we go. We got a basic shape going. This is kind of how I want it to look. So now the next thing we need to do is to actually do a detailed pruning. So, as you can see right here, we have these two branches which aren't doing anything, They're small and weak, so I'm going to prune both of those off. Plus they're growing straight upward, which is not something you want. I have this nice branch right here, but I also have this length right here, but so yeah, I actually think I'll keep both. So on this, I'm actually going to prune out this right here, that length, for now. So when I look at it from this side, I could see it actually working as the front. There's decent rootage on this side. However, I would need to pull some stuff maybe like this to kind of like give it some more of a front branching. We got this other inward branch in the middle right here, so I'm going to prune off. Another branch slightly lower down. That's another small thing right there. So as you can see, we got a little something going. And with boxwoods, they will grow back. You just gotta leave some stem, and they will come right back. So here we got something that I want to grow on, and I actually want it to split somewhere right around here, as you can see. So I already got something right here. However, I want it to split that way and that way, so I'll prune it right here, and hopefully it buds back at the tip. Here we got a whole bunch of branches coming out from right next to each other. So I'm actually going to prune out that tip, back to that, and same with this one right here, where we got two stems coming out. And since this cut off the leaf when I was doing the initial pruning, actually, yeah, there we go, that's gone. Shit. And then we got this fairly simple branching. I'm thinking actually pruning it about a bit harder to get it to bud back. We got these branches, and now we got our first finished branch. We got this and this, which can prove useful at some time. I'm actually not going to prune this, but I am going to prune this back just the tip right there. And actually something I'm going to show, which is that with a lot of my boxwoods, they usually flower, but the flowers are insignificant. So right here, you can see the flower buds, but the flowers aren't really notable at all. But they do flower very regularly, and it's flowered every year that I've had it. Literally every year in the spring. So I just thought I'd show you that cool little feature, even if it's not really a feature. So we got this branch finished. We also got this, which has some branching. I'll leave that alone for now and let it grow out. So next I'll tackle these. And with these, well, actually I think this is already fine for now. This right here, I'm actually going to prune about right there. Hopefully it'll bud back. And then this branch right here. I'm thinking maybe leaving it as is for the most part and just pruning off the tips to get it to bud back. For boxwoods, usually what they do is they'll produce two leaves going up and down, as you can see, or I guess better right here, or maybe not, but usually you have two leaves going up and down right here, and then you have them sideways. Unless you want a branch growing upwards or downwards right here, you almost always want to prune from the side branches right here, especially if you're going for ramification, because then the branches will come out there and there, prune out the tip, and it'll produce good ramification. If it's going up or down, it's usually not the best for ramification for a boxwood. So here, I actually have sideways here, up and down here. Well, actually kind of a mix of both. So I think I'll just prune off the tip for now, or maybe right there. So we got these two parts finished. So next we want to tackle this. So this is fine. This is a little bit thick. It needs to be pruned back and thinned out. We can have 3 branches growing from one spot. So I have to select one of those. So you can, I'm not sure if you can see, well, let me get a close up. You can see right there, the 2 branches right here and here are growing right next to each other, so I'm going to take off one of those and keep this. I'm probably going to do the middle one, so I have 1 branch going this way and 1 branch going that way. So there we go. And then we have the main trunk line still right there. Print off this stub. So right here, I actually pruned the leaves, but that's fine. It'll grow back, and I actually didn't print that one, so it's not a big deal. So actually with this stem right here, I do want to keep it and probably even let it grow strong, but I do want to cut out the tip because I might in the future wire it and have it be to the main trunk line in case this dies or grows weak or something. So then we have these 2 right here, which are now too tall, so I print this back to a stem right there, and this one to a little branching right there, as you can see, sideways, which leaves this little bunch right here as the last part of this tree. Again, we got another stub. So on this, we have 2 branches sideways there and 2 branches sideways here. The ones further back are weak, and they're also too close, so I'm going to print off those, as well as the leaves. Hold on, there we go. So now those are gone. I'm going to let these 2 grow out, and then this has these 2, which I actually like. However, this one I'm not sure I'll keep, as it's going in the wrong area for me. This one can work, so I'm going to print off. As you can see, we have another split branch like I showed you earlier right next to each other. I'm going to print off this lower one because I don't want it, and I'm also going to print off this because I don't want that. The reason why I don't want it is because it's growing right across from this little branch that I want it, and it's coming up kind of like so, and it's going to be too pointing in the top and not really the rounding that I want. I also have this branch, so I'm going to prune back as well to these sideways branches. As you can see, we got a general basic styling done. Print off the tips of most everything. But yeah, that's kind of the basic gist of the pruning for this one. So, on to Boxwood number 2.